as days go, there might have been a chance when I was a kid that I would have potentially been more excited than I am today, but I can't remember them. Today, I am going to drive for the very first time my very own Ginetta GTA race car. Now I'm on the road. I can tell you a bit more detail about what was happening. Had to wake up at redonkulous o'clock in the morning. Got to get over to where we're heading today on the track, which is Blyton Park. It's a track that I've never been around before. Again, it's a Ginetta testing facility, to my understanding. So I don't really know how much it's open to general public. Actually, I should ask them when they get there. I don't think you can do like track days there or anything, but I could be wrong, I don't know. For today, what we're doing is a bit of a driver development day, a bit of testing. Apparently I'm going to be able to meet some of the other rookies who are also in the GTA series, which would be nice. It'd be nice to chat to some people who are doing a similar thing to me. Hopefully make me feel a bit more comfortable. Again, I've got this complete nervousness as a rookie as to what it is that I'm actually expected to be doing and how to act and where to go and what to do when you arrive at the circuit. So it'd actually be nice to have other people with me who are as not familiar as me, let's say. So yeah, super excited. I can't literally wait to get there. I was already wide awake and then the alarm went off at 5 o'clock and I was like, right, sod it, let's just get up. So I think I'm going to end up arriving about half an hour early now. Probably got time to pull in for a lovely Costa. Get a Costa and a little flapjack. It's 9 degrees outside Celsius, so that is obviously we're not getting anywhere close to anything freezing, but it's damp as hell. It's not raining, but it's definitely damp. That might clear up. The forecast today is 70% chance of rain, so it's going to be super exciting to actually drive a race car in the rain, which is something I've never done. Even though I've test drove this particular car, remember this is the first day I've actually driven my car. So I'm going to be getting used to my car. We're going to talk to the driver development guys about the setup on the car. Hopefully I'll spend the day doing a bit of tuition, feeling a bit more comfortable in the car, so that when I get back to the sim at Sim Track, which will be next week, I'll be a bit more sort of comfortable with the realism and the realistic way that the car feels, rather than it being the sim where the fear factor isn't involved. So super excited to get on track with the Ginetta today, and to be honest, this is going to be like the longest journey in the world because I'm just so excited. But I am going to have to pull in for a coffee because I'm not going to be able to function in the morning unless I have my Costa vanilla latte. So I'll pick back up with you guys hopefully when I arrive at the circuit, and also the film team will be with me hopefully, so you might have a bit more interesting footage, let's say. See you in a bit. We're at Blyton Park here with the Ginetta team, ready for my first day driving my Ginetta GTA race car, and I could not be more excited. I can't wait to get in the car. The guys are actually working on the car as we speak. You can see in the background, so the... Whoa. I think we can do a bit better than that. Welcome everybody to the Ginetta G56 GTA race car. At the heart of this steel frame tubular chassis is a 3.7 litre V6 Ford racing engine attached to a 6-speed Quaife helical pneumatic gearbox with paddle shifts and auto blip that can change gear faster than you can blink. With 270 horsepower and 504 Nm of torque, this specially designed track weapon is held onto the tarmac with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. But for now, let's get back to the track.
So the factory driver Mike Simpson has already been out to do a few sighting laps this morning, bedding the car in, just making sure that it's all running smoothly because it's a completely fresh car, completely new today. So we need to do a bit of fettling with it and making sure that it's working to optimum performance before I can jump into it as a rookie, because it will be hopefully a bit more forgiving once it's settled in nicely. I can't wait to get in the car. I'm literally so excited. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. One of the cars is starting up. It won't be too much longer and I'll be able to get in the car and do some racing.
Before I could take my car out for a spin, Ginetta insisted on letting Mike Simpson take it for a drive first. Mike Simpson is not only a professional LMP1 race driver, he is also my head driver development coach at my race team, Want to Race. He was doing what was known as a shakedown, a sort of factory test drive where the professional racing drivers will take your race car out for the first time and make sure that all the bits and bobs are running correctly before you get into it yourself. Then it was time for me to finally get ready and drive my car for the very first time. I put on my fireproof race suit and helmet, my gloves, and tried to get myself settled. The whole scenario was very intimidating. I was so nervous. I had so many people watching and looking. I didn't even feel like I could take a second to comprehend what I was about to be doing. And before I knew it, I was strapped in and being pushed out, ready to go. And then, the inevitable happened. Oh dear. This wasn't exactly shaping up to be a very impressive first run out in the car. But I was not deterred, and I was desperate to get out there on track.
You need all your mental capacity.
After I had got the car moving and my nerves under control, I began to work on my lights, braking points, brake bias, setup, and in general, learning the track. Being the first time that I'd driven this car on my own, knowing that it was my car to do with whatever I wanted, I had to try and get a good feel for everything. The first thing I noticed about the G56 GTA, the gearbox, it was incredible. It was instantaneous switching of gears, and it was brutal. The change between second to third under full acceleration was just unbelievable. Nothing I'd experienced before, not in a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or any kind of supercar for the road. This was just next level. And the brakes. They could stop on a 50p piece. It was unbelievable. I'd never experienced anything where I was so willing to lean on them so hard. I know that these were racing brakes, but I didn't expect it to be this good. The other thing that I was surprised about was the ride. It was not unbearable. I know that a lot of people, when they're thinking about what car to buy and all that sort of thing, especially for the road, they will think a lot about the ride comfort in the car. This was something I never thought about, and it was actually quite comfortable for, let's say, a very, very sporty race car. Though I suspected the suspension had been put into its probably softest setting for me as a rookie going out on a slightly damp track for the day. The other aspect was the steering. It was unreal. Sneeze and you move. It was just crazy. I've never felt a car, not anything I'd ever driven, be so stuck to the track. It was phenomenal. My coach, Mike Simpson, was incredibly patient and willing to assist. However, I definitely got the impression that he had seen better. After only 10 minutes or so, I began to push a little harder. And again, the inevitable happened. This was incredibly embarrassing. However, Mike was great and explained what I needed to do to get the car back on track and my advice for what I should do in the next few turns. Braking, turning a little bit, getting any loose gravel off the tyres before I push hard again. It was fair to say that my first stint out in the car was mixed, at best, but I was not deterred by a few setbacks and I really wanted to improve. However, Mike advised that individual sessions of 15 to 20 minutes at a time were more than enough for both the driver and the car. Both needed cool down, so we headed in for a breather.
Back under the awning in the pits, let's call it, after my first session. Absolutely amazing drive around the track. It was so enjoyable, so much fun. I'd completely forgotten about the power delivery and just the ability of the actual car itself from 6 months ago when I drove it, or even longer back in Silverstone. It was so enjoyable, it was so fantastic. I can't wait to get back out there. I'm going to be going back out shortly. So yeah, I'd admit I've had a bit of a spin already, but yeah, super excited to get back out in the car very shortly.
After the car had taken time to cool and I had some space to chat with the team and breathe, I got strapped back in and I was ready to go for my first ever solo flight. I know that I'd driven this car before at Silverstone testing when I was considering whether to buy one or not. However, I'd completely forgotten the experience. This was just such a fantastic day, and it was down to the car. This car is just unreal. I've never experienced anything so brutal, so enjoyable yet scary, so powerful yet actually quite forgiving. It was just perfect for me to experience. I was thoroughly enjoying myself, and I felt myself starting to understand a little bit more about the car and how it felt to drive. Until again, the inevitable happened. My concentration levels had expired. That felt like a perfect time to take a lunch break. I brought the car in gingerly and went inside to talk to both Mike and Max, the driver coaches, and some of the other rookies who were there to drive for the first time today also.
When your peak brake pressure's there, where before you'd done it a lot earlier. So it's important we spike it, get the car stopped and come away. Because there's only a limit that tire's got, being a road tyre. At that point there, for me, that's my most dangerous point in any race car, where I've gone peak pressure, I'm trying to sit the car down, I'm not in the corner, you can see I need to get off the brakes, I'm not quite in the corner.
In the afternoon session, I was taken for a spin as a passenger by Max Coats, one of Ginetta's other pro racing driver team coaches, who, before we went out on track, wanted to explain a few things about the circuit to me.
Absolutely nothing wrong there, so you've just...
I was blown away by the speed and ability of a professional racing driver. It was like nothing I'd experienced before. The car was not driving round the track, it was dancing. Throughout the corners, I don't actually know how the rubber didn't rip itself off the rims. The speed he was able to carry through, the braking that he was able to achieve, the acceleration out of the corners, it was just next level. The experience was honestly humbling. It was eye-opening and it was exciting all at the same time. Having now seen how high the benchmark actually was, I was keen to push. I jumped straight back into the driving seat and did all I could to impress Max. I was starting to make good progress. And you guessed it, the inevitable happened again. So that was part one of me driving my GTA for the first time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll get notified when part two of this video comes out. You won't want to miss what happens next.